Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be going over the latest Giants blog. Now, this came out on April 2nd, and you are just seeing a video on it from me now because I was pondering how I want to go about this. And I was thinking about whether I wanted to put my own thoughts about this issue into it, and I have decided not to. I am simply just going to read this blog out to you guys. If you want to know my thoughts on this matter, let me know in the comments and I will do a separate video going over that. I just don't really want to take either side on this matter, and I just want to read the info Giants has put out because, yeah, to me, they have cleared up some stuff perfectly. So, without further ado, we are going to get into this. About mods, info, and Q&A on frequently asked questions. This article addresses recent discussions about mod testing times. It explains why we support mods, how we test them, and what makes our approach unique. You will gain insights into the modding process, testing procedures, and common issues, including mod conflicts and console limitations. Frequently asked questions, clarify basics for newcomers, and more for experienced modders. I am not going to watch this modding in 25 seconds. If you want to, I will leave this link in the description. So, recently there have been some discussions around recent mod testing times among our friends in the modding scene in the general community. We listen to the feedback as always and want to provide you some insights. Since many of our dang close to cannot cut. Since many of our players do not use, let alone make, any form of modifications, we also want to take the chance to provide some basic information on how Farming Simulator modding works and what the differences to other games are in that sense. Ugh, dang it. Ugh. Why do we support mods? And whenever I say we in this video, I am talking about Giant Software, not myself. While various, but sadly increasingly less, gaming companies allow and support modifications to customize the experience yourself for a variety of legitimate reasons, we believe in two things. Letting players do even more with the game than what we offer ourselves, and that our efforts are worth it to actively instead of just passively support it, are worth it for everyone. The history of Farming Simulator and Giant Software is rooted in modifications that have been not only allowed but encouraged from the start. Some of our most dedicated and longtime colleagues started exactly there, on the forums in the modding scene, which is the reason why mods are and will always be an important part of Farming Simulator. What's different in our approach? Most games that support mods have some form of official platform. Some are hosted by the developers themselves. Some are handled through an external infrastructure like the Steam Workshop. Others are uploaded to a variety of privately organized platforms. Most of them, whether official or not, only curate submitted mods, if at all. Automated processes will check for basic functionality of the mod itself, not for the functionality of its parts or the overall quality. We want to do more than just check for viruses and the ability to load the mod. That's why we created the official mod hub for safe functioning mods. We not only curate, but it hands-on test mods in our QA department. We support console mods if platform restrictions allow it. And I will say something on this. We support mods if platforms restrictions allow it. Giants would like to put, like, everything PC has on console, but because of Microsoft and Sony, and mostly Sony, they don't allow it. So it's not Giants not allowing, like, script mods to go on PC. Not on PC. It's not Giants not allowing some PC mods, like scripts, to go on console. It's the console, like, platforms themselves. We offer support to our modders and creative ways to contact us. We offer monetary rewards to Mod Hub modders. We reward success with physical awards and number of downloads. We allow modders to donate earnings and match the sum on our end, which I didn't know that part. I knew that modders were, like, able to donate their earnings to, like, charities, but I didn't know that Giants was matching that. We provide official modding tutorials with every major release. We dedicate a significant portion of FarmCon to modding. There's a whole day at FarmCon dedicated to modding, I'm pretty sure. We connected modding to our partner program with more benefits. We offer mods on our own and convert older content faster and for free. Now, yeah. Cut. Mod testing. How are mods tested with Giants? Testing, no matter what, takes up quite a lot of time, whether it's a game, a DLC, or a mod. So far, we have tested over 1,500 modifications since Farming Simulator 25 was released. I think that number is low, but who knows? I mean, we've gotten so many mods. It seems like we've gotten more than 1,500 mods in FS25, but that might just be me. This is done by our QA team alongside testing of patches, free content, upcoming content, and a lot of other responsibilities of game testers other than analyzing and collecting bugs. They do way more. Here's what the usual testing loop looks like. Step 1 starts with the modder themselves. Modder creates a mod and tests it on his own system to make sure it works as intended. Once satisfied, the modder uploads the mod to ModHub and submits it to the queue for testing. Another note on this, which isn't a personal opinion, it's fact. Anything I am saying that, yeah, I'm just not trying to put my personal opinion in stuff, but stuff I know about this that isn't written here, I will say. One thing about step 1 is modders can only test on PC. They can't test on consoles. So sometimes a mod is working fine on PC and then, like, it gets into Giants testing and it fails on something console related. That's not the modder's fault because they can't test on console. And a recent example of this, Oak Bridge, aka Comsden, one of the Oak Bridge updates, the roads were fine on PC, but on console, the roads are gone. But that's not something that could have been tested on the modder's end. Just as an example there. Step 2. Queue and initial verification. Our Motto team processes mods in the order they were submitted or last modified. No reservations. If a modder recalls their mod, it goes to the back of the queue. Basic check is performed to see if the mod meets basic submission standards. Does it have proper screenshots? Does the mod description and mod icon look correct? Does it appear to have been tested by the author? Step 3 is PC testing. If the mod passes the initial review, it moves on to PC testing, where the test team evaluates functionality, stability, and compliance. If problems are found, the following actions are taken. Minor problems examples are this. Outdated mod test version will be fixed internally. Major issues are reported to the modder, who can fix and resubmit. Resubmission mods go into a shorter queue specifically for fixes, ensuring that they are processed faster than new submissions. Console testing, if applicable. Once a mod passes PC testing, it moves to console testing. If it is compliant for consoles, the console testing phase checks shader compatibility. Any issues must be resolved before approval. Slot count calculations, which are handled automatically. Textures files being loaded without issues. Mods with shader issues may be sent back for fixes. Entering again the shorter queue for resubmission after being corrected. Step 5, final approval and release. If a mod passes both PC and console tests, it is moved to pending release status. It then waits to be released in the next scheduled Mod Hub update alongside PC-only mods that have also passed testing. So, now we get to the questions part. So, some of these are basic that you'll know, but I'll read them anyway, and some you might not know. What are mods? I know nothing. Nice of you to ask. Modifications are, first and foremost, user-generated items, features, enhancements, etc., and created by the community, not the developer of a game, even though Giants do release mods themselves from time to time. But here's an exception. We as developers publish some content for free and use our own mod hub too, because it allows us to quickly bring content to you, but mainly mods still refer to community creations, hence we usually call our content free content and not mods, even if it appears on the mod hub, which is the distinction there. What's Mod Hub? It's our own official platform for mods and farming simulator. Modders can submit their creations, we test them, which is not the norm in the industry, and you can download them directly in-game, but you can check the Mod Hub on our website as well. Now, for this next one, I'm gonna go desktop. I'm gonna show you guys. So I have 1,534 mods for PC right now. These are my FS25 mods as of right now. And you'll see why I showed you that in a moment. With the base, I installed dozens or hundreds of mods. Why doesn't it work? With the base game, we have to make sure it works as intended, which sometimes requires patches due to the complexity that is software development. However, when players install mods, they are essentially modifying the game in ways we cannot predict or control. Expecting the game to work perfectly with an unlimited number of mods is unrealistic because each mod changes the game's code, sometimes in ways that conflict with other mods. That's why we can't guarantee stability when mods are used. The more you modify a system, the more unpredictable it becomes. Which, with this many mods, sometimes I run into mod conflicts. But they're fixable. And if you do run into issues, usually I take like 12 mods out of my folder at a time until I replicate that issue or the issue stops. And then, like, let's say I find the issue here, or the issue stops here. Then I put these same mods back in one at a time. Why can't you make sure that all mods are compatible with each other? This is simply not possible because it's too complex. Each mod is developed independently, meaning it's designed to work with the base game, but not necessarily with other mods. Since different creators may alter similar game elements in their own ways, conflicts can arise when mods interact. There's no centralized testing or standardization across all mods, and we would have to impose a lot of strict restricting rules to modders to decrease conflicts, but it still wouldn't be possible to achieve overall compatibility. Let's use an example of how mods alter the game. Imagine you buy a car from a manufacturer. It has been tested, fine-tuned, and its base functionality works as intended, might require a firmware update for the AC to work or something else. Now let's say you decide to customize it. You install a new turbocharger, replace the suspension, swap out the dashboard electronics, and add a custom exhaust. Each modification might work on its own, but when combined, they might interfere with each other, causing malfunctions, performance issues, or even making the car undrivable because they are too heavy for the chassis. I mean, really? They could have come up with a better example of that, but I get it. I get what they're saying. Like, on their own, one mod might work, but combined with another mod, it might not. Can you give an example for a mod incompatibility? Imagine one mod changes how the weather works by adding dynamic rain patterns, while another mod also tweaks the weather to make it more realistic, but in a different way. Both mods are compatible with the base game, yet when installed together, they might conflict because each one alters the same weather settings. This can result in unexpected behavior like erratic weather patterns or crashes because there's no built-in guarantee that these independently developed mods will work well alongside each other. This is a very simple example. The complexity of the issue goes much further, affecting many things that do not seem connected on the surface. Why are some mods not available on consoles? Like, I kind of talked about this up at a earlier point, but we will read this again. All mods are automatically tested for console release, but there are guidelines by console manufacturers. Again, Microsoft and Sony, mostly Sony. Scripts are not allowed, and licenses have to be represented by the game brands not licensed for Farming Simulator are not able to be added on consoles through mods. But scripts from partners' DLCs seem possible. We are responsible for the code included in such cases, as allowing mods on console was already a privilege which console manufacturers never had to allow. It was only through lengthy negotiations and agreements to respect the security of these consoles that we and other game companies were allowed to have mods at all. Questions from modders. Where can I see how long mods are currently being tested and how many mods are currently being tested? You can check the forums to find out how long processing times for mods currently look like. This is variable and depends on a lot of factors. We update the estimate regularly. While newly submitted mods may take a few more business days to get tested, mod updates and resubmissions after failed tests are processed quicker to ensure a quick turnaround on feedback from modders or for modders. Are there priorities in how and which mods are tested? If so, why? Yes, there are priorities. Bug fixes, especially post-patch maps and resubmitted mods, are usually prioritized over new mods and updates that are not crucial. Why are there no detailed overview of every mod that has been submitted? It would slow the process. We'd rather spend our time on processing more mods. We decided to communicate the position in the testing list as a progression indicator instead. While we understand the wish for even more details and transparency, we want to keep it simple. The testing list was nice, but that probably took a lot of time away from other things. Why are some new submissions tested before older ones without explanation? They are generally not, but there are exceptions with a reason. In some cases, we are using some newer submissions to test automation workflows or specifically against upcoming updates to see if they would break. Because we know they are a perfect use case to test something in particular, which might not be the case with other mods currently in the pipeline. Why is it that a mod appears to be skipped or delayed? Mods are usually not skipped or delayed by more than a day. These short skips are usually because of batch processing to make our workflows more efficient, meaning this happens due to the overall efficiency of the process. Is there a way for players to report broken mods directly via the Mod Hub? We're always looking at social media channels, Discord, the forums, but most importantly, the feedback we get from our partners, whether it's other modders or media partners for issues. Here is a challenge. Players often confuse mod not working with mod conflicts with some other mod. The first is a valid issue, the other one is not. Read more below. There is no capacity to handle such an inbox unless we dedicate some of the mod testing resources towards them. It is also not possible to reach everyone to explain this logic and prevent these kinds of reports that are not relevant here. So, my input on this, if you are having something that you think is like a mod like not working or something, take all of your other mods out, leave that mod in and see if you're still getting the same issue. Then if you are, report it. Especially on maps. If you're having like an issue with a map and you think it's the map, take your mods out and see if you're still having that same issue. And if you are, you can report it. Will mods with game-breaking errors be temporarily disabled until the modder fixes them? This is handled on a case-by-case basis. There have only been a handful of mods disabled due to issues in the past. We always try to contact the modder first and work with them by providing relevant information About the issues the mod is causing, working closely with the modder ensures the mod is fixed quickly and players can enjoy playing the mod. Why are mods with known errors allowed to remain in Mod Hub? Some problems are not big enough to be harmful to keep in players' save games. Also, if we were to remove mods, players might tend to disable the mod or not be able to re-download it for multiplayer. This will cause the mod to disappear, which will damage the player's save game. How can Giants improve the feedback quality when mods are rejected? Modders can open a mod up ticket if their feedback is not qualitative enough. We are always trying to improve our response templates. We cannot give detailed feedback on every little detail, but we still want to process the mods. Why do minor issues cause mods to be delayed again for days? Whether a problem is minor or major makes no difference. The delay is due to the amount of mods currently being submitted. Once the resubmission queue is close to the ideal 1 to 2 business days, this will no longer be an issue. Trivial issues are usually fixed by the Mod Hub team directly, but additionally, analyzing, rating, and prioritizing the severity of an issue would overall mean more time, slowing down the process. Why doesn't Giants support modders more actively? We have to strike the balance of working on the game, working through Mod Hub, and other priorities with a small team. We are not a large studio, and the community outgrew the team size, so unlike the early days, we cannot give out support to everyone personally and have to be more broad with tutorials or communication. We cannot just scale up the overall team in the company, as this will have an impact on many levels that come with certain risks. In addition, we feel that we are still on the more proactive side of modding support when looking at the industry as a whole, and we want to stay that way, but in a secure and efficient fashion. That does not mean that we're not trying to continuously improve our workflows and communication amidst changing circumstances. Why does every word in a mod title need to be capitalized? Example, brand names that are lowercase by design, e.g. Demeter. If Demeter would be in the mod title, this is something the modder can discuss with the Mod Hub team during the submission phase. This has never been an issue in the past. Regional language conventions, upper lowercase, are also not considered in Mod Hub naming policies. The rule here is for readability and consistency. And if you're looking for a job, Giants is hiring. Interesting. Wonder if they're hiring like remotely? Not sure. Open positions. Open application. Qualifications, responsibilities, qualifications. What do we offer? Oh, there you go. Like I said, if you want me to do a second video on this issue where I put more of my personal feelings about it in, let me know in the comments. I am willing to do it. I wanted to keep this one just known facts about the matter, what Giants said about the matter, but I am open to do a second video about this with more my thoughts. With that, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.